guys, Mayflom here, and I have got, this is my big file folder for taxes for the year. You know, all that fun stuff of being your own boss, paperwork, receipts, all the important things. I needed a new file folder, so I figured, why not make it fun? So I am going to add custom vinyl. So what I have here, this is a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I doodled all over it with black marker. Now I started thin, and then as needed, if I needed a thicker line or I wasn't thinking that something wasn't quite thick enough, I added to it. Remember, you're gonna want to err on the side of a little thicker versus a little thin. And the reason is, remember that all of these bits, it's gonna feel really tiny when we actually cut this out of vinyl. So first step, I've got it on my mat. Next step, we get out the ScanNCut and load this mat and scan it on in. So here comes the ScanNCut. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see how this looks. So we are going to go into Scan and Scan to cut data. We wanna make a cut file. We aren't trying to cut this out. We're going to make a cut file so we can cut out of vinyl, and I'm going to try grayscale because I think that should work since it's just black pen on white paper. And this only takes a moment, just has to scan itself on in. And I think this will be fun to kind of take something that's a little on the boring side and make it something extra fun. And it just takes a moment to recognize, to see all of those little bits and pieces. And you can see here on the screen how it's going to go along and update you. How far along is it? Are we almost done? Are we almost there yet? Yes, we are. I'm not gonna cut the video just because I want you to see. I mean, this is a big, complicated pattern. It has a lot to see there, but it doesn't take all of that long. Now there's different options, just the outside, just one line, or in and out. We want the inside and the outside. And you can already see, I'm going to zoom this in so that it's not picking up all of those random bits. I want it to only pick up my pattern, but I can already see it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. So preview, and it looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to say save. Now I'm going to go ahead and just save it to this machine because I am immediately going to get out my vinyl and cut this out. So it just takes a moment here, it's thinking. Save it to the machine. And it took a little, there's a little bit of lag because this is there's a lot of cuts to make. And we're going to say, okay, next step, I need to go get my vinyl and we can cut it out. Okay, so I have my vinyl on a mat here, and I'm loading it up, and we're gonna go to Pattern, Save Data, Machine. There it is. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm not gonna touch it at all, I don't think. The only thing I do wanna do here, I'm going to select everybody, unify, and just move it down a little because I'm looking at my vinyl and I noticed that I set my vinyl to be a little lower. We could resize this. We could do a lot of different things here. I don't need to do anything to it though because it's going to cut itself out, and then we're going to weed it out and put it on. This is simple. It is going to be time consuming, I'll tell you. It's been time consuming so far. But all we're going to do is cut, and I have my blade set a little under 3. It's going to take 11 minutes to cut this. This is a lot of cutting, guys. So press start and go get a drink of water and take a moment because then we'll get to the rest of this project. So quick tip. So I've got this pulled off. We're going to weed it now, but just a really quick tip. On the back, I put some tape down on the few little pieces that cut all the way out. It didn't cut the whole pattern out because it started to cut and I saw what it was doing and I stopped and adjusted. It was just a little bit too deep of a cut. So that's just my tip. You can always tape up the back. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to peel off the outside, and I'm not entirely sure how much is going to peel off here. It should be quite a bit, but if you get into a lot of little sticky places, you can kind of take a break or trim it and continue. But this is called weeding, and we're going to weed this entire pattern here. I'm probably going to trim a few spots just to make it a little easier, because remember, I can always come back through and pull more little pieces out if I'm having trouble. This is just the patience part, okay, my friends? This is the part where have patience, because it will pay off. It's just gonna take a few minutes here. Look, you can already see how all of this is coming out. Once everything is weeded out, you're gonna want some transfer paper. And if I'm working with little designs, transfer paper isn't absolutely necessary. But for a design of this size, we definitely will need it. And I'm just gonna lay it over the top. And then you're just gonna wanna firmly press down all over and make sure, don't be shy about this part, really get in there. Sometimes I'll come in here and just kind of go back over. And then if you think you've done good enough, try lifting it. If, like me, only a few pieces start picking up, then you know you haven't done a good enough job. You just need to go back in there and really give it a good press. With everything all off. Now, if you're not ready, you can take the backing sheet. If you're not quite ready or you need a little time or whatever, you can always take the backing sheet and place it on here, which is really nice, because then you don't have to feel pressured to, you know, get it on to your project right away. But if you are ready, and I am, zoom out here a little bit so you can see. Now what I'm going to do is, I am ready, so I don't need the backing sheet. We are ready to go. I am just going to, now you want to take your time here and kind of hover above. And I want this kind of offset. I don't want it to look straight. And I'm just going to press gently at first. Gently because I don't want, this is kind of a bendy, it's not a firm surface. So I don't want to make it bend initially. I want to kind of take my time and then get my spatula out here. My little spatula works really nice for this. And what I'll do is just kind of gently press all over. And then once I feel confident, then I will go ahead and start to lift. Now, if I start to lift, I want to make sure you guys can. Now, if I start to lift and parts aren't sticking, the spatula really comes in handy, because I can just kind of tuck it between the vinyl and the transfer sheet and help it along so that everything, and you want to go really slow. Remember, with vinyl, it's not that it's hard, but it does take patience. You really just need to be patient, and you need to not be in any kind of hurry. If you're in a hurry right now, just lay this back down and walk away. So just take your time and lift it. And again, if parts of it are sticking or you're not quite sure they're coming off, just slide your spatula in there. Let your spatula help you out, as well as press down firmly. Now, I don't think that this is gonna make doing my taxes more fun or keeping track of paperwork more fun, but oh my gosh, you guys, it's so pretty. So at least it'll be pretty when I do my paperwork. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and you can see how my original drawing worked. This could be anything. Honestly, you can make vinyl or your own cutouts of almost anything just from a doodle. Just sat down and doodled, and there we go. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I will be back soon with more ideas to share.